Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Sure is great to see you. Quarter-final time over at the Indian Wells. I can't wait for these. Four of the best that we need to touch on today. Before we do, like the video if you would. Get yourself subscribed if you're not. We only need 10 more. I only need 10 more until we hit 700 folks. Who's it going to be? Do me the favour. Do yourself the favour too. Get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment along with the pics and the timestamps. But first things first folks, Jack Draper squad. How good was he? He put in an absolute belter last night. I was very, very pleased with that. Couldn't believe the odds were as close as they were. That just seemed like a given to me. I can't believe a lot of people slept on him. I can't believe a lot of people thought Taylor Fritz was just certainly going to win that. Didn't even win a set, didn't even come close. Admittingly, Taylor Fritz didn't look too great prior to that match, or even in that match. But if you're injured that bad and you can't play like that, you just retire, or you just get a walkover. But he clearly felt fine enough to try and mount a comeback. Didn't stand a chance. If Taylor Fritz is number 4 in the world, then watch Jack Draper, folks. There's not many on the tour playing at a better level than this guy at the moment. You have to admit, if you didn't know by now, surely you do. Surely you do. This kid's legit. Legit. And what else happened? Ben Shelton just had his way with Bina. Same with Alcaraz and Dimitrov. And although a lot of people slept on Jack Draper, everybody, and I repeat, everybody slept on Francisco Cerundolo. What did he do to Alex de Minaur? Now, I can't remember the last time I seen de Minaur play that bad. He looked like a shell of himself, but I can't take anything away from Cerundolo, because even though the Demon played crap, Cerundolo played unbelievable, an absolute blinder. And you know, if you're going to play the way the Demon did, then you're not going to win games, especially at this level. I don't know, I'd be very hesitant to take that guy after the third round in these big tournaments after watching that. I don't know, let me know what you think. But like I said, that was a big shock to me. I thought he'd at least win a set. I mean, straight sets. Couldn't even win a point in the end, never mind a game. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll touch on excuse me. Who do we start with here? Who's first off? Where is it? When it decides to load, there we are. Right then, let's waste no more time with these. We've got Tallon Griekspoor and Holger Rune. Head to head is 2-0. So Tallon Griekspoor both coming on the clay. One last year in Madrid and one in 2022 over in Germany. Now, I don't know about you folks. That was probably the best I've seen Holger Rune play in a good while, in quite some time. And it weren't just anyone he beat as well. It was Tsitsipas. It was the on-form, on-fire Tsitsipas. He was absolutely flying leading up into that game, and he just had no answer for Holger Rune whatsoever. It's funny, innit? Like, there was nothing you could say about Tsitsipas leading into that, and everyone thought he was going to win. And as soon as he got beat, everyone was so certain that Holger Rune was always going to beat him. It's unbelievable that there's actually people out there that do that. But yeah, you know, we have to deal with it, don't we? It's all good. You can't take anything away from Holger Rune though. Like, he did play really good. He played better than what he did against Hugo Humbert. He hadn't been playing nowhere near as good as what Tsitsipas had been playing all week, well, the past couple of weeks. With that in mind, Holger Rune he tends to do better every time he's here, does he not? Holger Rune maybe just a little bit. Getting past Tallon Griekspoor, I mean, this is another one. We are fairly certain of the level of Tallon Griekspoor at the moment. He is very, very hard to beat. Very hard to beat, playing some of his best tennis. Like I say, he's already beat him both times. They were on the clay last year. Times have changed, you know, it doesn't take that long for the tables to turn on the ATP tour. You have to admit, even though Tallon Griekspoor has been super, super consistent the past few days, well, the past few tournaments even, he's been brilliant. 8-2 in his last 10. Kekmanovic, Zverev, Mpechi Pericard and Watanuki played one more game than Holger Rune. Holger Rune's beat Corentin Moutet, played a very good game against Hugo Humbert, and then even better, excuse me, against Stefanos Tsitsipas. But like I said, how much weight does that hold? Because in hindsight, everyone was so certain, Holger Rune was always going to win that. So if he was always going to beat Tsitsipas, you tell me what happens in this one. Because he's never beat Griekspoor before. He'd always beaten Tsitsipas, hadn't he? You could say that. He played him 3 times, he'd never beat him before, he was always going to beat him again, whatever the excuse will be. I haven't got a clue what's going to happen in this one. I really don't. Because you're not going to be able to use the excuse, well, Holger Rune's just going to target the one-handed backhand, aren't you? And whatever, like, what happens in this? Tiebreakers, I think tiebreakers, that's usually the way to go with these Tallinn Griekspoor games. Holger Rune, the past 2 games, I have to admit, I have seen probably, not a lot, but just a bit better. In this tournament, he seems to have been playing at a little bit of a better level than Tallinn Griekspoor. If he can keep it consistent, if he can maintain the level he's maintained in the past 2, he should definitely beat Tallinn Griekspoor, but stranger things have happened, haven't they, folks? So we'll crack on with the next one. We have got, who is it? Artifice, Daniel Medvedev. Probably Medvedev, right? You'd probably say Daniel Medvedev wins this one. He looked great against Tommy Paul. He did. I said it at the start and I'll say it again. He's just flew under the radar, hasn't he? Smoked Boo, barely played against Mickelson, probably would have smoked him as well. And then a lot of people slept on him against Tommy Paul. I thought Tommy Paul may have been good for a set. No. First set was a little bit back and forth, and then is that a bagel in the second set? Right, you are, says 6-4, and then a bagel. Pure dominance for Medvedev. Like I said, he always plays really, really good over in the Indian Wells. Artifice, Gabe Diallo smoked him. Lorenzo Musetti, thought he put in a good one against Musetti. A lot of us thought Musetti was going to win that one. I mean, I don't know, it really was a 50-50 one. Close game, great stuff from Artifice, and then more of the same against Marcus Giron. Dropped the set against Giron, dropped the set against Musetti. I think it's a big ask. Even though Artifice has been playing really good, this is the good Artifice that we know. We know we can do this, but even if the good Artifice turns up, you've got to admit it's probably going to take a lot more than what he's been doing over the past week to get past Medvedev in this situation. I mean, I don't think Fils isn't going to struggle on the power side of things. He can hit really hard. We know that. It's the consistency that worries me. And if Medvedev's just going to play like he's done, if he's just going to cruise along like he's done all week, Artifice will really, really struggle with him. He will. He's a massive favourite in this as well. What's that? 1.3. It's the ideal parlay piece, in my opinion. Got to admit, that was probably the best result of the season for Daniel Medvedev against Tommy Paul. He's been to the final here the past 2 times. You can't sleep on him to get to another one. You really can't. I think Artifice could probably trouble Medvedev in spots. Like I say, you'll be able to hit big. I just don't see him winning it. I feel like overall Medvedev will probably just kill this lad with consistency. We all know what Artifice can get like when he goes searching for winners. He gets a bit too wild, and that's probably not the wisest move in a spot like this, especially against Medvedev. I imagine he's just going to cruise this one out. Will Artifice take a set? Possibly. I mean, going off the previous Medvedev results, I mean, you'd probably say no. If Tommy Paul's not going to come close to taking a set off him, then I don't know. I imagine he can get past Artifice. If not just the same, probably easier than what you've got past Tommy Paul, because I thought Tommy Paul was playing quite alright leading into that. Played each other once before, that was back in Vienna on the indoor hard court, 2023. Doesn't really mean anything. I'll admit Artifice has played a lot better in the past 3 matches than what I've seen him play all season, but Daniel Medvedev, since the Australian Open, has really just sort of not switched it on a bit, but he's winning more. You know, he's gathering consistency, he's picking up a bit of speed. And it's fucking Daniel Medvedev, folks, innit? What are we doing here? Going to be taking him against Artifice, definitely, at the Indian Wells. 1.3, it's more of a parlay piece. I don't know about the spread, but we'll move on to the one that I'm looking forward to once again, folks. I think you know what I'm doing here, don't you? Ben Shelton and Jack Draper. Aye. Now, I think this will be a better... I say a better game, I mean, I'd say more convincing. I think this will be a tougher time out for Jack Draper than what Taylor Fritz was, which is probably strange to think, right? You'd go, I was Ben Shelton going to be a tougher game than Taylor Fritz, but I don't know. Ben Shelton played really good against Binach, but that's one of them spots. He always beats Nakashima, so how much does that hold? I'm not too sure. Smoked him, absolutely smoked him, he did. It was a close one in the first set, tiebreaker in the first, and then 6-1 in the second. It just all came tumbling down for our Binach. But it's alright, nothing to be ashamed of there. Ben Shelton's beat what? Mariano Navone. It's whatever. And then he beat Kachanov in straight sets as well. It's whatever. He hasn't dropped a set. He's yet to drop a set to Binach, Kachanov or Navone. Draper just dealt with Fonseca. He dealt with Jensen Brooksby. That was probably the toughest game against Jensen Brooksby, believe it or not. And then he just munched on Taylor Fritz last night. Like, just calling it for what it is, I'd say if you... I don't know. I'd just say Jack Draper's just better. That was me. That was the end conclusion yesterday. I think Jack Draper's just better than Taylor Fritz on the day. Same with this. I think he's just better than Ben Shelton. He's better than most, if not everyone at the moment. Tiebreaker, maybe. Probably. It's Ben Shelton, innit? It's Ben Shelton. Both of these very good on the serve. Highest ranked lefties, another thing to keep in consideration as well. You know, both left-handers here, so Jack Draper usually does that have that element of lefty surprise when he plays these matches, but not in this one. He'll be facing a fellow one himself. Shelton's forehand looked really good against Binach, I'll give him that. Very strong, he's just whipping balls across, you can't get to them. They just seem to skim off these courts. Probably give Draper the edge in other areas though. I mean, his forehand's good as well. It's probably doesn't have as much venom, I'll say that. It's strong and solid, but I'd say Ben Shelton maybe has just a little bit more venom in his forehand shots. Backhand's most definitely with Draper, you'd say. Serving, but I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, you know, folks. It'll be a tough one once again. This won't be no walk in the park for that Jack. But then again, we all said that against Taylor Fritz, and look what he done. Is this just the level? Is this the level that we're getting? If so, I don't think there's much more to talk about on this. I think Jack Draper should get past Ben Shelton. Maybe not with relative ease, but the way he's playing at the moment, he's good enough to take on anyone. He's playing like world #1 level tennis at the moment, so I would have to go with Jack Draper in this one. Look, I was pretty certain he was going to beat Taylor Fritz. I suppose I would have to be just as, if not more certain, he's going to beat Ben Shelton, right? Both of them have looked really good. Ben Shelton's looked a lot better the past few games than what he has done all season, pretty much. Decent Australian Open. Bit poor since then, but seems to have turned it on come the Indian Wells. I do think it'll be a close one. I said it with the last one against Binach with Ben Shelton. I thought it would be fine margins, because it usually is, and it weren't. He got that one done rather easily in the end. Can't sleep on Jack Draper, folks. You can't sleep on Jack Draper. I tell you what, I'm going to be taking Jack Draper once again, because I've still got him on the outright. I had him at 1.8 yesterday. Got it 1.7 here. 1.7. Once again. I feel like I have to take it. I have to take that, don't I? Any information on this one? Anyone? Anything you feel like I should know before the game starts? Anything? No? Any reason why Ben Shelton would just absolutely destroy Jack Draper today? Does anyone know? No? Nah, me neither. Anything to suggest that it's going to be an absolute washout for either one? No. I do think it'll be a close game. Given on what we know and what we've seen, I would personally give the edge to Jack Draper in this one. I just would. Not only just what I've seen this tournament, I just would anyway. He's a better player. It's a better player, and if he turns up and if he gets beaten, he's not the better player on the day, then so be it. But is there anything right now suggesting that Jack Draper is going to turn up and put in a stinker against Ben Shelton? I don't think so. I'm going to go with that. Jack Draper squad, Shelton gang, what is it? Team UK, Team USA, once again. Make your choice, you pay your money, you take your choice, folks. Best of luck to you. And then, finishing us off, we've got probably an easy one. I thought the Demon was going to dispatch this guy, but we've got Carlos Alcaraz and Francisco Cerundolo. Head to head 1-0 to Alcaraz. When was that? Let me just check. I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. It says one apiece, but I imagine one of them would have been like years ago in the next... Yeah, the futures for Cerundolo. Queens last year on the grass, 6-1, 7-5 for Alcaraz. Now I'm pretty certain, I know I said I was certain Alex de Minaur was going to beat Cerundolo, but if I was certain de Minaur was going to beat him, I can hold my hands up and say I am 100% certain Alcaraz gets this done. Surely he does. Surely he gets this one done. He's an even bigger favourite in this one than what he was against Dimitrov. Yeah. I quite concerning for Cerundolo, I'm not going to lie, although he's talking about like Medvedev flying under the radar. Cerundolo's flew right under the radar all tournament. Mackenzie McDonald 2-1, Van der Sandschulp 2-0 after he just destroyed Djokovic as well. And then de Minaur straight sets as well. Fantastic. Quarterfinals of the Indian Wells. Francisco Cerundolo. Who'd have thought? Absolutely no one. I can't help but think that this is most definitely the end of the road for this guy, though. You've got to admit, folks. I mean, look, I said he looked really good against de Minaur. Like, de Minaur looked really shit. 39 unforced errors in 2 sets. That is really bad. If you can hit 39 unforced errors in 2 sets and still win the match, surely that just, if you didn't even have to watch the game, folks, that tells you how bad the Demon was, really. You can't do that. I said it with El Chapo, didn't I? El Chapo is the exact same. Gets a bit wild, searches for winners and just blasts them all over the place. You cannot play like that against Carlos Alcaraz. You can't. He will punish you so bad and so quickly. It'll get to the point you'll blink, and within 5 or 10 minutes you'll go, oh my god, it's 5-0. It's 5, love. What the fuck has happened? I think the conditions definitely suit Cerundolo, bit slower, high bouncers, aren't they? But if they suit Cerundolo, do they not suit Alcaraz? They definitely do. You can't say they don't. He's the two-time, the back-to-back champ. And as much as I would love, and I'm praying for Jack Draper, I've got faith in me boy to get this one done. I would not be surprised to see Alcaraz make this 3 in a row over at the Indian Wells. Certainly gets past Cerundolo. Whether it's a lot closer than what the de Minaur game was, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't bank on it. I'd imagine Alcaraz gets that one done in straight sets. Spread's going to be around 5.5, 6.5. You do what you will. But I'm just going to stay well away from it. Just the one from me today. I think you all know what it's going to be. If anyone's still watching, like, for those that are still here, I'm not going to put it obviously in the pin. It's just going to be a single for me today, but I did have a parlay on the go. I was going to go Medvedev and Jack Draper. You get that at plus money. That's up to you. That's entirely up to you. I can't see Medvedev getting beat by Artifice, but 1.3, 1.2, as I always say, that seems to be the sweet spot for what you need to pay in order for your parlay to get destroyed. I mean, look at Alex de Minaur last night. Don't fancy that happening again, although I don't think it will. I'm just going to go with Draper on the money line, folks. 1.7. sweet as you like. Let me know what you're going for, best bets, any advice, all that stuff. Share with the group. Don't be shy. Get involved. Stay involved. I appreciate each and every one of you. Very well then, folks. Have yourself a good Thursday. If anyone's having a go on Cheltenham, please do let me know. If you don't know what Cheltenham is, for those that maybe aren't from over here, go and have a little, go and get yourself read up on that. Anyone like horse racing? Any tips? Let me know. I had a really good day yesterday, but we won't touch on that. Horse racing's not really my forte. I'm more about tennis. But sound, folks, have a good one, yeah? Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Let's go get that cash again today. Enjoy the tennis. I'll see you tomorrow for the semi-finals.